I'd just like to welcome everyone who's joined us at this live webinar on Help Kids Learn, which is a fantastic online resource with loads of accessible activities for a range of pupils with severe complex needs, autism and a number of others. Presenting today, we've got Sandra Thistlethwaite. So that's two Sandras today. And Sandra's got over 20 years experience and she's now working for Inclusive Technology. And she does loads of delivering of information, training, and has been involved in the development of quite a lot of the software and the products that we see. And as I say, so it's got a great way of presenting, and hopefully we'll see it all just now. Okay, Sandra, over to you.
Sandra. Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. You should be able to distinguish between myself and Sandra. We've got slightly different accents, although all from the north of England, so I hope you can hear us all well. Well, today's going to be a little bit of a tour around Help Kids Learn for people who've not seen it before, and for those who want to know a little bit more about it and what it contains and what it's for and that kind of thing. So, I'm just going to start off with the right slide. That would always help. Here we go. So, first of all, what is Help Kids Learn? Well, for those who don't know, it's an online service. It's a website developed by Inclusive Technology, and we're offering a whole family of resources, mainly for children who have special needs and also for young children. And the main thing I'm going to talk about today are the games and activities section of Help Kids Learn. Now, at the moment, there are over 80, I think there's actually about 100 accessible learning games on there. And we're committed to adding new activities all the time. So every month you should see a new activity. Now, you can go and play 10 of these activities for free. Or if you want to access them all, there's a subscription service. So you can access all the activities all year round. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that at the end. And for those people who want to play their activities on iPads or Android tablets, these activities are also available separately via the App Store and the Android stores too. And I'll show you a few of those in a little while. So who has Helping Kids Learn been invented for, really, designed for? Well, we really see it being used mainly by parents and carers, teachers, therapists, in special schools and in their educational settings, to use with individual children or in class groups, and with very young children and children with a variety of different conditions such as developmental delay, children with learning disabilities, children with cerebral palsy and autism, children with visual impairment, children with communication difficulties too. And what can you actually do with it? Well, all the activities have been specially designed to do a particular kind of job and help develop certain skills. So we have activities that look at sensory exploration, that help develop cause and effect understanding, develop communication skills in many different areas. We've got activities there for early literacy and number skills. We have turn-taking activities and activities to develop attention and concentration skills, to make choices, and also a wide variety of those if you're using a different kind of access method to build up those skills to using that well. So how can you play these activities? Well, there's a lot of different ways you can play them. If you're just using your standard mouse and keyboard, they'll all play with that. Many of the activities will work with touch too, with 1 or 2 switches if you're using those. And also, many of the activities will also work with eye gaze, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. Now, we have, as I say, nearly 100 activities. One of the hardest jobs is to actually choose which activities are suitable. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of a tour around Help Kids Learn and tell you roughly what the categories are. So this is our website with all the activities on, and you can see we've divided them into 5 sections. The early years section in yellow. Most of these activities centre around exploration of the screen, seeing what happens when we touch it, what effects we get from it, building on to having that cause and effect understanding of touching, switching and having a big effect on the screen. And also we've got some early turn taking games in there too. The second section is called games, and that's the red section. And in here, many of them, we can call them games, but their main purpose is to build attention and concentration skills. So instead of just pressing your switch or touching your screen, you now have to wait for the right time to do it and have some understanding of the things that are happening on screen before you do anything. A lot of these activities are to do with timing, so as I say, touch or switch at the right time. And quite a lot of these can be played with more than one player. So this is great for developing skills and working together too. The third section, the green section, are all about our stories and songs. And we have a lovely collection in here of activities that are great for speaking and listening, for developing language and basic communication skills, for early literacy, and for early numeracy development too. The creative section, the blue section, is really how you describe it. It's about being creative, so great for the art and design part of the curriculum. Lovely free choice activities, so exploring what you do on the screen, having an effect, and then printing it out for you to keep. So some lovely creative activities in this section. And the final section is the find out section, and this is the orange section. And here we're looking mainly at starting to make choices. So a lot of these activities, you can choose what kind of thing you do in them. Many of them are about fact finding, so seeing what happens or seeing the results of the actions that you do in the activities. And solving problems, so that we can look at certain activities and see how we can make that activity work using different strategies. So lots and lots of different skills basically in those sections. And finally, sorry, I meant to say, also great if you're using switches to practice things like scanning skills, so letting the computer give your choices and you press your switch at the right time. The way I like to look at Help Kids Learn, the way I like to choose things is in a couple of areas. So I like to look at how we're going to access them. So is that going to be on a touch screen, an interactive whiteboard? Is it going to be an individual with switches? Are we going to be using eye gaze with it? I also like to look at the learning areas. So roughly whereabouts are we heading towards? Are we looking at a cause and effect activity? Are we looking to build attention, or are we looking to develop choice-making skills? And teachers all around will know that also sometimes we've got to use these activities to meet curriculum needs. So if we've got themes going on, such as sports, animals, dinosaurs, jungle, transport, under the sea, space, our community, things like that. Then we have lots of activities that will niche into those themes in your curriculum. So just to take that a little bit further, a common theme for this time of year is winter and Christmas. So let's have a look what we've got on Help Kids Learn for that. Well, one of the really nice things is you've got an advent calendar. So every day in December you've got a new activity that is relevant to winter and Christmas. You can also use you can also make your own Christmas cards to send to family and friends with our Help Kids Learn card maker activity. In the stories section you can read all about or watch a story about the Snow family. Or you can practice your switching or timing or attention skills and help a hungry little penguin to get home on our penguin game. Or learning to choose, we can start to open some Christmas presents and have a look at the results of our choices there. And finally, we might want to do a little bit of problem solving. So can you figure out which way we have to go first in order to use our ski lift? So lots of activities there that I'm going to show you right now on Help Kids Learn. So let's just go straight to our website now. We'll have a little look at that. So if you've ever logged into HelpKidzLearn.com, you'll see this front screen, and this is what I mean by a family of products, that we have games and activities that we're talking about today. We also have things like Choose It Maker, we have apps, and we have hardware products too. But today's all really about the games and activities, so I'm just going to go into there. And there you'll see our 5 categories that I've just gone through. So I'd like to look at it in terms of access first, like I said. So if we look perhaps at touch access, what activities are great for touch access? Well, at a very early sensory or cause and effect, this one is a great one, Hidden Grid. And you should see here that when I touch the screen, which is a bit noisy, when I touch the screen we have a lovely effect. So we're getting visual images and sound effects. Very simple activity, but great for early exploration. Another great one for touch is this one, the Peeping Musicians. So again, at a very early level, we can have a little look and we can see if we can locate things that happen to appear on our screen. So can you see anything? He's down here. We touch him. And get a nice reward. He disappears and then something else peeps up. And again, see if we can locate things around the screen. The term musicians is quite a far-stretched one, I think, but great fun. The kids love this one. Okay. Let's have a look then at some turn-taking activities if we're using touch. So a lovely one for this is the bumper cars. And we can play this with our friends. So one of us can touch this side of the screen. And our friends can touch the other. And see who gets the biggest score. Ooh, knocked him right out. So turn taking, having a go each, having a little bit of competitiveness there is all good fun. Let's have a look at something that will help build attention. We might as well have a look at Little Lost Penguin since he's nice and wintry. So again with this one, this is looking at timing. So I'm going to press my switch now and Little Penguin appears. And this is all about working out what we have to do. So if I press my switch when the penguin's underwater, oh, he can't quite jump up. So what I have to do is wait till he appears, then press my switch, and there he is. Oh, we'll let him have a fish too. So this is a nice simple platform game, and again I have to wait for the right moment when he's down there and can't eat me before I carry on the game. And again timing. Oh, just got him. Pretty good at this game now. Okay, I think you've got that. And if we wanted with touch to start making choices, how about this one in the creative section? Again, I'm going to choose another Christmassy, wintry one. So make a snowman. This would be great on the interactive whiteboard to do all together as a class. So what do we need to do to make a snowman? We'll put on a scarf. We'll choose what type of hat he wants to wear. We'll have a nose and some eyes. And maybe a little robin perched on his hat. And we can print that out and work together as a class to make the snowman just as we like it. So this is a simple touch, drag and drop activity. Okay, I'm going to have a little think now about another form of access which is commonly used with HelpKidzLearn, and that's switch access. By the way, if you're looking for mouse access and keyboard access, mouse access, then they're the same as a touch access one. So if it works with a mouse, it will work with touch access too, and vice versa. So let's have a little look at switch access now. We'll go back to early years and we'll start off with a cause and effect activity. One of the ones that's very popular are the Big Bang ones. So we've got Big Bang patterns and Big Bang pictures. So we'll have a little look at one of those. It tells you it's at a cause and effect level. And now, when I press my switch, I get a picture, animation, and music. And then blank, press my switch again, and I'll get a nice visual, highly visible, attractive animation. Okay, you get the idea. One of the nice ones actually at this level for switches, you might want to go to the advent calendar for that. And there's lots of activities in there, but a lovely one for Christmas. I think it's number 3. So at a very simple level, again, we can press our switch and look, we've got snowflakes coming down. We get a sound effect and a change in colour. Now this could work beautifully in a darkened sensory corner or a sensory room, or on a large screen to get that great effect for when you press your switch. Lovely. As I say, there's lots of activities there as well that you might want to check out. Okay, if you wanted to look at turn taking, we've got quite a few nice turn taking ones here. So big trucks again is worth having a little look at. Again, if you've got a friend to play with this one's good. So with one switch, you'll be making one side of the screen play. I'm just going to show you that many of these activities, we enable the switches there, and you can see for this one, because it's turn taking, we need 2 switches for it. So again, we can have one each if we're doing turn taking. So one switch will make this truck do something, and the other switch will make that truck do something. So again, we can play together or just explore 2 switches and see what happens. It's always good fun when the wrecking ball comes out. I'll leave you to play that on your own and see what happens. Okay. If we're wanting to go, if we're pretty good at our switch access and we're wanting to play something a little more advanced, we can look at something like New Age curling. This is great for a 2-player game. So I press my switch when I get the angle, press my switch for the strength. Not a bad shot there. Thank you very much. And then your partner can try and knock you out, perhaps with a very high strength one. There we go. Unbeaten. So again, looking at timing skills, looking at pressing the switch at the right time. Let's have a look at some attention ones now. So we have quite a number of these. This is one of my favourites. So we can now set how long a time we've got to hit the gopher on the head, basically. So we can give ourselves a good long length of time to make it nice and easy. Make sure we don't miss him. There he is. Let's press our switch. And we've got him. And we're scoring points again. So a lot of these games are about going through a process to reach a final end point. You get the idea. One more. Let's get it. And we go through that game and get the final reward. Okay, if we're using switches and want to do choice making, another lovely one for this time of year is this Christmas presents one. Again, we can choose our switch option here. So we'll have it at just one. We can choose how quick or slow our scan speed is. And we can also choose how many presents. Well, I want as many as possible for Christmas. So let's have that many. So now with my switch, I press it and it will start to scan through all the presents. And when I get to the one I want, I press my switch. Oh, just what I always wanted. Little elf. Wonderful. Okay. If I'm looking at eye gaze access, then they might need to have a little think about how or which activities I want to do. And these activities tend to be the ones that work well with the mouse cursor and with clicking on things. So I'm going to show a few of my favourites there. So let's have a little look first. And people probably know, but if you turn on mouse emulation in your eye gaze device, your software you've got for your eye gaze device, then you can use HelpKidzLearn activities quite nicely. A great starting off point is this one, early mouse movements. And we can have some lovely music or sound effects here. And here we are just looking around the screen and we're getting different effects from wherever we look. A great tool to use if you're just trying out eye gaze for the first time, and if we can then see which areas might be more tricky than others to reach. So lovely cause and effect one for eye gaze. All the ones in the stories section are lovely to use because you can also not only get children activating these themselves with eye gaze, but you can also watch and see what they're looking at while they're playing. So let's try one of these. So I wonder what we're going to do. We better keep to our theme of winter and Christmas here. But just to show what this story does, if we have our mouse cursor in eye gaze set to a very fast click time, we just need to look at the screen to go to the next stage of the story. But I can also be looking at where that mouse cursor is on the screen, so seeing where that child's looking. There you go, that's our snow family. With eye gaze, if I wanted to do some turn-taking games, I could try any of those I've shown you, but this is one of my favourite ones for eye gaze. Because this one, wherever you touch, something then happens, or wherever you look at for this one. So if I look at Wilf, or if I look at the door, something happens. If I keep looking at the door, he plays his instrument. And I can get him going as much as I want, or look at Wilf and you'll say, shh. Look at the door. Oh, somebody new. Keep looking at him and he'll play an instrument. And look at Wilf to shh him up. So a lovely, nice next step to developing targeting skills and having more than one thing on screen. For attention, for building attention, there's a lovely one that I like to use, again in this early years section, called Pop the Bubbles. And in this one, it's quite important you don't have it on the fast one. That's very hard with eye gaze. You can have it on static or slow, and have it on the mouse setting. So with here, it takes a little while for some of the bubbles to come up, but as soon as you do, again with eye gaze, if you have it on a very fast dwell time, I just need to look at these coins and they will pop and they will give me a nice score at the end. So if you let this go for a while, we'll have lots of bubbles, but you get the idea that I can just carry on doing that as long as I need to.
Sandra, we're going to have to start winding up.
Okay, lovely. Okay. All right. Nowhere near finished, of course, but I just wanted to show you very last thing, that we're going to be having lots of information out there to help you choose. So this is one that we've written for eye gaze. We're going to do it for all the different access methods. And just as people are maybe formulating questions, I'll just play a little compilation video showing lots of users. And just another reminder that a lot of these activities are not only available online, but also available as iPad or Android activities. So yes, I'm happy for any questions as this is playing.
Many thanks, Sandra. That was absolutely great. I'm sure we could have continued to look at all these activities. I must admit, when I did the penguin one for the first time, I got eaten a few times. Yes, we have a few minutes for questions. So if anyone's got any questions, they can just type it into the wee chat area at the bottom. I think Craig's just typed in, are there any questions for Sandra? So if you have anything, just type it in at the bottom and we'll get Sandra to answer them. Thanks.
I can't quite see my chat window, so you might have to tell me, Sandra, if there are any.
Craig's asking if you can customize the activities.
No, they're all sort of ready-made activities in there. So the custom-made ones will be things like in the Choose It Maker style of things. So all these ones are sort of ready-made. The content's already there for you. But Choose It Maker 3 is our one where you can personalise and put your own content in there.
And I think we should actually have an archive of the webinar on Choose It Maker 3 on our website. So if anyone wants to find out more about the Choose It Maker 3, then if you go along to the call website and look for the webinar archives.
Might have coming up as well if you need to have another go over Choose It Maker 3 if that's important.
No more, Mary, because there's some really rude ones.
Okay. Okay. Anything else from anyone? And then it's just.
You've got to click more now.
Craig's just put the link up to the call live webinars as well, so that will be there.
Sandra, just find if people want to try it for free, they can take that information there, and there are the prices as well.
Okay, 2 weeks free. I suggest you don't sign up just now unless you want to have the 1 week before Christmas. Mind you, it might be really good to have a week of activities before Christmas. Or have the full 2 weeks sometime next term. Okay. Right. Okay, that's excellent. Doesn't seem to be any further questions from anybody. So really just on behalf of Call and all the participants, I'd just like to thank you very much, Sandra, for giving up your time and talking to us about this and showing us all these different activities. And they can get in touch with you directly if they've got any further want any extra information.
My email's just sandra@inclusive.co.uk.